The sun rose over Earth, casting a golden light on the United Earth Alliance, UEA, headquarters. Inside the command center, a sense of urgency filled the air. Alarms blared, and lights flashed as military leaders and scientists gathered around a large holographic map of the solar system. They knew the alien fleet was coming, and time was running out. General Sarah Thompson stood at the front of the room, her face serious. She pointed to the map, highlighting the trajectory of the alien ships. "They will arrive within days," she said. "We must be ready. Our defenses need to be stronger than ever." The room buzzed with activity as officers rushed to their stations. Teams of engineers and soldiers moved quickly, discussing strategies and preparing for the battle ahead. The atmosphere was tense, but there was also a strong sense of determination. Humans had faced many challenges before, and they were ready to fight for their home. "Let's review our options," said Commander Raj Patel, who was known for his sharp mind and quick thinking. "We have our new combat ships, but we need to catch them off guard. A surprise attack could give us the upper hand." The engineers had been working day and night to improve the UEA's fleet. They had designed new ships equipped with advanced technology. These ships could move faster and carry powerful weapons. The pilots had been training hard, learning how to fly these ships and use their new features effectively. Meanwhile, in the pilot training room, a group of young pilots was getting ready for their final exercises. Among them was Jake, a skilled pilot known for his bravery. He felt a mix of excitement and fear. This would be their first real battle, and he knew the stakes were high. They were fighting for their families, their friends, and their planet. "Listen up," shouted Captain Emily Carter, the training officer. "Today's drills are crucial. You will practice the new maneuvers we discussed. Remember, teamwork is key. Trust your fellow pilots and communicate clearly." Jake took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the moment. He looked at his friends, who were equally determined. They shared a bond, forged through countless training sessions. They were ready to stand together against the alien threat. As the pilots practiced their drills, General Thompson and Commander Patel discussed the plan in the command center. They decided to launch their surprise attack from the moon. This location would give them a tactical advantage. The aliens would not expect an attack from there, and it could buy them precious time. "We must use every resource we have," said General Thompson. "We can't underestimate the enemy. They may be advanced, but we are not without our strengths. We have intelligence on their weaknesses thanks to the alien rebels." The scientists in the lab were working tirelessly to analyze the information shared by the defectors. They discovered that the aliens had weaknesses in their communication systems and supply lines. This knowledge would be crucial in the upcoming battle. As preparations continued, the entire UEA came together. Every citizen played a role. People volunteered to support the military, whether by helping with logistics, providing medical aid, or working in factories to build more ships. A spirit of unity and determination spread across the planet. In the final hours before the battle, Jake and his fellow pilots gathered for a meeting. Captain Carter spoke to them, her voice strong and encouraging. "No matter what happens, remember why we fight. We are not just defending our planet, we are fighting for our future. Together we can make a difference." With those words, the pilots felt a surge of hope. They would face the aliens not just as individuals, but as a united force. They were ready to show the galaxy that humanity would not back down. As the day of the battle approached, the tension grew. The UEA was ready. They had prepared every ship, trained every pilot, and gathered all their strength. The humans had sent a clear message to the aliens. They were ready for the fight, and they would not go down without a struggle. As the sun set on the horizon, casting long shadows over the Earth, the command center of the United Earth Alliance, UEA, was alive with activity. General Sarah Thompson stood at the front, studying the latest reports about the incoming alien fleet. Tension filled the room, and the atmosphere was thick with worry. Suddenly, a communication officer burst through the door, breathless and wide-eyed. "General Thompson, you need to see this!" the officer exclaimed, rushing to the holographic display. "What is it?" Thompson asked, her heart racing. She was already overwhelmed with the battle preparations. And now, there was something urgent to address. The officer tapped a few buttons, and a shaky video feed appeared on the screen. It showed a group of alien ships, smaller and less powerful than the ones approaching Earth, but they were clearly in distress. The officer explained, these ships belong to a faction of aliens that have defected from the Galactic Empire. "They want to talk!" The general's eyebrows raised in surprise. "Why would they want to help us?" she asked, curiosity piqued. "They say they oppose the Empire's rule. They have information that could be vital for us in the coming battle," the officer replied, his voice steadying. "They want to join forces with us." General Thompson considered this carefully. It was risky to trust aliens, but this could be the chance they needed. "Bring them in for a meeting," she ordered. Minutes later, a group of alien rebels entered the command center. They looked different from the soldiers who were part of the invading fleet. Their bodies were slimmer, and their features were softer. Their leader, a tall alien with shimmering green skin and large, expressive eyes, stepped forward. "Thank you for meeting with us," the alien said, his voice calm but urgent. "I am Zarek, and these are my companions. We have come to help you." General Thompson nodded, welcoming them. "We need every bit of help we can get. What do you know about the Galactic Empire's plans?" Zarek glanced at his companions, and they shared a silent understanding. "The Empire thinks they will win easily," he said. "They are confident because they have superior technology. But they do not know about their weaknesses. We can help you exploit those weaknesses." The UEA team listened closely as Zarek explained how the Empire communicated with their ships and coordinated attacks. "They rely on their main communication hub, which is vulnerable," he revealed. "If you can disrupt their signals, it will create chaos in their ranks." General Thompson felt a spark of hope. "And how do we do that?" she asked. Zarek smiled, relieved to see her interest. "We can guide you to their hub. We have maps and information on their supply lines. With this knowledge, you can launch a surprise attack." The room buzzed with excitement. The humans realized that this unexpected help could change everything. "We appreciate your offer," Commander Raj Patel said, stepping forward. "But we need to know if we can trust you. This is our home at stake." "We understand your concerns," Zarek replied, sincerity in his eyes. "We have suffered under the Empire's rule just like you. We want to see it fall." The humans deliberated for a moment, weighing their options. General Thompson decided to take a leap of faith. "All right, we will work together, but we will keep a close watch on your actions. Trust goes both ways." The rebels nodded, and the atmosphere in the room shifted from uncertainty to determination. Plans were quickly made, with Zarek and his team sharing vital information about the aliens' tactics and strategies. The humans absorbed every detail, feeling more prepared than ever. In the following days, the UEA worked side by side with the alien rebels. Humans and aliens exchanged knowledge, building trust as they prepared for the upcoming battle. Zarek and his team trained the pilots on how to use the information they provided effectively. The bond grew stronger with every shared laugh and each successful drill. As the day of the battle drew near, hope filled the hearts of the humans. They were not alone. With the unexpected help of the alien rebels, they had a chance to turn the tide against the Galactic Empire. Together, they would show the universe that they were ready for anything. The day had finally come. As dawn broke over the horizon, the skies above Earth darkened with the looming presence of the alien fleet. Thousands of ships, sleek and menacing, filled the sky, casting shadows over cities and landscapes. The United Earth Alliance, UEA, had been preparing for this moment for weeks, and now it was here. The atmosphere was tense, filled with a mix of fear and determination. Inside the UEA Command Center, General Sarah Thompson stood at the main console, her eyes fixed on the massive holographic display. It showed the alien ships approaching Earth, their metallic bodies glinting in the sunlight. "They're coming in fast," she said, her voice steady despite the storm of emotions inside her. Commander Raj Patel, standing beside her, felt the weight of the situation. "We need to act quickly. If we wait too long, they will reach our defenses and launch their attack." The command center buzzed with activity. Officers shouted orders, and technicians worked furiously to monitor the incoming fleet. "We have to deploy our ships now," one officer called out. "Our pilots are ready, but they need to move before it's too late." As the UEA fleet launched from their hidden bases on the moon, the pilots felt a mix of excitement and anxiety. Jake, a young pilot, gripped the controls of his fighter ship, feeling the adrenaline coursing through his veins. He looked around at his fellow pilots, all of them determined to protect their planet. "We've trained for this," he reminded himself. "We can do this." Meanwhile, the alien fleet continued to approach, their formation tight and disciplined. The lead ship was massive, larger than anything the humans had ever seen. It pulsed with energy, and the eerie silence surrounding it was unsettling. On board, the alien commander, a cold and calculating figure, surveyed the view from the command deck. "Prepare to initiate the attack sequence," he ordered, his voice deep and commanding. "Earth will fall today." Back in the UEA command center, General Thompson and Commander Patel watched the alien ships with bated breath. "What do we know about their capabilities?" she asked, her eyes narrowing in focus. "They have powerful energy weapons and advanced shields," Patel replied. "But they rely heavily on their main communication hub. If we can disrupt that, we might have a chance." As the UEA ships took off, the pilots flew toward the darkening sky. Jake and his squadron formed a line, flying in tight formation. "Stay close!" he shouted over the comms. "We have to protect each other." The tension in the air was palpable. As the alien ships drew nearer, the UEA fighters prepared for the battle ahead. "Remember our training," Jake reminded his team. "Stay calm and trust your instincts." Just as the alien fleet entered firing range, a piercing alarm echoed through the command center. "They've opened fire!" an officer shouted. Explosions lit up the sky as energy blasts shot toward Earth, illuminating the darkness. "Deploy our shields," General Thompson ordered, her heart racing. The UEA ships activated their defensive systems, but it was too late for some of the ground installations. Explosions rocked the surface, sending debris flying. Smoke billowed into the air as chaos erupted. "Jake, take the lead!" Commander Patel's voice came through the comms. "We need to draw their fire away from the ground forces." With a nod, Jake pushed his ship forward. "All right, everyone, follow my lead," he called out. They swerved and dove, dodging incoming blasts. The sound of explosions filled the air, drowning out their thoughts. As they engaged in combat, the humans discovered a surprising advantage. The alien ships, while powerful, were also clumsy in their movements. "They underestimate us," Jake realized, using the rebels' tactics to outmaneuver them. "We can turn this around!" Back on the command deck of the lead alien ship, the commander frowned. "Why are they fighting back so fiercely?" he wondered aloud, frustration creeping into his voice. "This should be easy." The battle raged on, and the sky became a chaotic dance of light and shadow. Explosions lit up the darkness, while brave pilots fought with all their might. The humans had sent a clear message. They were ready to defend their home, no matter the odds. As the alien fleet loomed over Earth, it became clear that this was just the beginning. The outcome of the battle was uncertain, but one thing was for sure: the humans would not back down. The sky above Earth had transformed into a chaotic battleground. The clash between the United Earth Alliance, UEA, forces and the invading alien fleet had begun. Explosions echoed like thunder, filling the air with smoke and the scent of burning metal. General Sarah Thompson watched from the command center, her heart pounding in her chest as the battle unfolded on the giant holographic screen. "Status report!" she shouted, her voice cutting through the chaos in the room. Officers hurried to relay information. "The alien ships are firing on our ground installations!" one officer shouted. "We've lost communication with several units. Get our forces in the air and coordinate with the rebels," Thompson ordered, her eyes locked on the screen. "We need to regroup and fight back." Meanwhile, in the skies, Jake and his squadron of UEA pilots were engaged in a fierce dogfight with the alien ships. His heart raced as he dodged incoming fire, twisting his fighter into tight turns. "Stay together," he shouted over the comms. "Watch each other's backs!" The alien ships moved with terrifying speed, their weapons firing in rapid bursts. The air was filled with the whirring of engines and the crackle of energy blasts. Jake felt a surge of adrenaline as he locked onto an alien ship, his targeting system beeping insistently. "I've got a lock!" he shouted. "Firing!" A bright beam shot from his ship, striking the alien vessel and causing it to explode in a brilliant flash. "Yes! One down!" he cheered. But his victory was short, lived as another alien ship swooped in, firing directly at him. "Jake, look out!" one of his fellow pilots warned, but it was too late. He pulled hard on the controls, twisting away just in time. The blast missed him by inches, sending shock waves through the cockpit. "Let's focus on teamwork," Jake shouted, rallying his squadron. "We can't let them take us down one by one." Back in the command center, General Thompson watched as the battle unfolded. The UEA ships were holding their ground, but the alien fleet was relentless. "We need to strike at their communication hub," she said, strategizing with Commander Raj Patel. "If we can disrupt their coordination, we might gain the upper hand." Patel nodded, a determined look on his face. I'll send a strike team to take it out. We can't wait any longer." As the order was given, a small group of rebel ships led by Zarek joined the UEA forces. Zarek's team was skilled and agile, ready to take on the challenge. "We'll flank their position," Zarek announced, his voice steady. "Follow my lead." The rebel ships moved swiftly through the chaos, their pilots expertly weaving in and out of enemy fire. Together with the UEA fighters, they launched a coordinated attack on the alien fleet. The aliens, caught off guard, struggled to regroup. "Now's our chance," Jake yelled, sensing the shift in the battle. "Let's go." With renewed energy, Jake and his squadron dove into the fray. They engaged the nearest alien ships, firing their weapons with precision. The skies lit up with explosions as the UEA forces gained momentum. However, the aliens weren't finished yet. A massive alien battleship, larger than anything they had encountered, loomed in the distance. Its weapons powered up, glowing ominously. "General, we've got a big one coming in," an officer yelled from the command center. Thompson's heart sank as she watched the battleship begin its assault. Energy beams shot down towards the Earth, striking ground targets and creating chaos. "We need to divert our attention to that battleship," she ordered urgently. "If it stays in the fight, we'll be in serious trouble." Jake, overhearing the command, nodded to his fellow pilots. "We've got to take out that battleship before it causes more damage. Let's hit it with everything we've got." As the pilots maneuvered closer, Jake felt a mix of fear and determination. They were outnumbered, but they had to fight for their planet. With the alien battleship in sight, Jake felt a surge of adrenaline. "This is it! Everyone on my mark." The pilots tightened their formation, and as they approached the battleship, they unleashed a torrent of firepower. The bright beams of energy shot towards the massive ship, but its thick shields absorbed the blasts. "Keep firing! Don't let up!" Jake shouted, pushing his ship to its limits. The battle had only just begun, but they were ready to give everything they had to protect their home. With every shot fired and every maneuver executed, they fought not just for victory, but for survival. The sky darkened with smoke and fire, and the fate of Earth hung in the balance. As the battle raged on, the determination of the UEA forces and their unexpected allies shone brighter than ever. They were ready to face the challenge head-on, and they would not back down. The battle raged on over Earth, a fierce contest of wills and technology. General Sarah Thompson stood in the command center, her eyes fixed on the holographic display. The situation was critical. The alien fleet was strong, and the UEA forces were struggling to hold their ground. Smoke and fire filled the sky as ships from both sides fought valiantly, but the tide of battle seemed to be turning against them. "General, our ground forces are taking heavy damage," an officer reported, urgency in his voice. "We need a new strategy or we might lose everything." Thompson took a deep breath, feeling the weight of responsibility on her shoulders. "We can't let that happen. We need to hit them where it hurts." "What about the alien battleship?" she asked, glancing at Commander Raj Patel, who was studying the data intently. Patel nodded. "It's heavily shielded, but I've noticed a pattern. There are moments when their shields go down during the energy charge. If we can time our attack perfectly, we might breach their defenses." "Let's do it," Thompson said, her voice firm. "We'll coordinate with our pilots and the rebel forces. We need to act quickly." Meanwhile, in the chaos above, Jake and his fellow pilots were doing their best to fend off the relentless attacks from the alien fleet. The sky was a swirling mass of destruction. Jake's heart raced as he dodged energy blasts, trying to keep his squadron together. "Stay close!" he shouted over the comms. "We can't get separated!" As they flew through the battle, Jake couldn't shake the feeling that they were losing ground. His hands tightened on the controls. "We need a plan. We have to take out that battleship. It's too powerful!" Just then, Zarek's voice came through the comms. "Jake, I've got an idea. If we can distract the battleship, you and your squad can strike it from below. Their weak point is on the underside. We just need to draw its attention." Jake's heart raced. "It's risky, but it might be our best shot." "Let's do it!" With a nod, Zarek led a small group of rebel ships toward the battleship, engaging it directly. "Hey, big ship! Over here!" he yelled, firing his weapons. The bright beams shot toward the battleship, and it turned to focus on Zarek and his team. "Now!" Jake shouted, urging his squadron to dive beneath the battleship. They flew low, narrowly avoiding incoming fire. As they approached the underside, Jake's targeting system beeped rapidly, locking onto the weak point. "Locking on! Firing!" he announced, sending a powerful blast toward the target. The energy beam struck true, piercing through the alien shields. The battleship shuddered violently, and for a moment Jake felt a surge of hope. "Keep firing! Don't let up!" Zarek shouted over the comms. The combined firepower of the UEA and rebel forces began to take its toll. Explosions erupted on the battleship's hull as the pilots fought with everything they had. But the alien commander was not about to let them succeed without a fight. "Reinforce the shields! Regroup and counterattack!" he commanded, his voice booming through the ship. The battleship's shields flared back to life, and it began to return fire, energy beams tearing through the sky. "Watch out!" Jake shouted as he narrowly avoided an incoming blast. "Stay focused!" The UEA and rebel pilots worked together seamlessly, dodging fire and striking back. The tide of battle began to shift as their coordinated attacks created openings in the alien defenses. Each explosion lit up the sky, filling the air with smoke and debris. Back in the command center, General Thompson watched the screens, her heart racing. "This is it. We need to keep the pressure on. If we can just hold out a little longer, we might turn this around." "General, we're receiving reports from our ground forces," an officer said, breaking in. "They're regrouping and preparing for a counterattack of their own." Thompson smiled, feeling a surge of hope. "Then let's give them the support they need. We'll coordinate our air and ground attacks. This is our turning point." As the UEA forces pressed the attack on the alien battleship, they felt a renewed sense of determination. They were fighting for their planet, their homes, and their future. With every blast fired and every maneuver executed, they showed the aliens that humanity was not to be underestimated. The tide was shifting, and the battle for Earth was far from over. But for the first time, it felt like victory was within reach. As the skies burned and the explosions echoed, hope ignited in the hearts of the defenders. They were ready to take their stand, and they would not back down.